I'm trying to figure out how to assess these cards because it's 20 years worth of cards. I can't judge them based on standard playability. I don't have the knowledge to assess them based on were they playable at the time, and I don't have the retro knowledge to go these are retro playable. So I'm just going to go off my vibes, seeing them on face. If I think they're cool, if I think they have interesting abilities, off the art, essentially it's just going to be would I play it based on what it says on face. And so these are all my personal opinions. I don't know the history of the game, and I'm sure that I'm going to make a lot of bad takes on here, but that's what I do. Let's have a look at the 4-point promos. Andrew Alexia, 2007 World Champ. Commit 1 foundation. Your opponent chooses 1 card in your discard pile. Add that chosen card to your momentum. That's a 719 as well. Discard momentum once per turn before a control check is made. That control check gets minus X. You're failing that control does not, and X equals the difficulty. Okay, so you're basically telling your opponent how much you want to reduce their. Essentially telling your opponent how much you want to reduce their. How much do you want me to reduce your check by? Which is a little bit nutty. Because I commit 1 foundation, and this is just. It's once per turn on the discard momentum. But it's not once per turn on the committed foundation, which means you can essentially just stack up your momentum every single attack. I am almost out of water, but I've got lots of Pepsi. Why is it not selecting the one I want? Check hacking that doesn't end the turn, but once per turn, and aggressive momentum getting A. Dimitri, 5 hand size. Your attack gets plus X damage. If it deals damage, you gain X vitality. X equals 4 minus your attack's control. If your character is what? If your character is BEAB, the hell's a BEAE? If your character is BTAB, blood type AB, what the hell? Oh. Your attack equals 5 minus your attack's control. If your opponent's blood type, fucking serious, no. Blood type AB. Get in D. Get in F. Fuck blood type. Fucking blood type bullshit. No, go to F. Just for the blood type bullshit. Don't even get me started. Well, no, as we get higher up, once we get to like the MHA and the characters I've seen before, I can go a bit further. This was like me also coming to terms with what a lot of these characters do. Once we hit like MHA era, or even Yu Yu Hakusho, I can speed up a lot, but I've got to get there first. And those are like set 30, and we're currently still in set 0. Discount top card. So Z-May 720. Discount top card of your deck. Your attack gets plus X damage. X equals 7 minus the control of the discarded card. Commit 1 foundation. After you play an attack, not as a block, discard 1 card in your opponent's staging area. Go commit 1 card in your opponent's staging area. So you're going 1 for 1 on the committals, and you can give plus damage equal. You can give damage equal to based on what you mill. You're in a lot of danger with this character. Yeah, you know. I thought you'd love the flavor. No, I'm not a favor of the blood type. Get your points. Choice block reversal makes sense. Damage equals -7 minus the control discarding cards. If you discard an attack, you get 4. A. You say S. I put A. Basically, Blake, he's just saying that I need to make the right choices here. Yishan, 629. This attack gets -X damage, minimum 1, or plus X damage, your choice. X equals the total number of characters in all staging areas. So you're talking a minimum of -2 and +2 damage on everything, which is solid out the gate. Or and then as you character stack, or if your opponent is a character stacker, you can get ridiculously high. But that is, I mean, +2 to everything seems decent enough. But I'm going to put B because the rest of it kind of is dependent on what your opponent's doing. Temujin, 626, Air, Chaos, Fire. Discard momentum, your attack gets +X damage, X equals the control discarded momentum. Commit, add the top 2 cards of your deck to momentum. So, unfortunately, I don't know enough about the time because you gotta think these are legacy where the rules are even different. So generally, I'm just going off vibes, how I feel about the character, and then I've also got people having a go at me, or if you feel I've made a big error, you can essentially use memberships or super chats to tell me where characters should go. So Mike's already moved some people around. No, it's Blake. Have fun shopping. So you're going to E-commit to add 2 cards to your momentum, which feeds into your next turn, but you're not tenacious here. But being able to add additional damage based on control seems fairly decent. Yeah, no. Oh, that is the wrong one. You can go into B as well. Rational tap. Death, Evil, Honor, commit, discard X card. After your opponent's ready step, commit X non-character cards in the staging area. Ooh! Oh! Can I actually do this? Oh my god. Oh, Mike didn't get one. That's a shame. But fine. There we go. I didn't realize I was able to give some away. That's pretty cool. No. The control aspect is cool. So I'm like, I already did it. Yeah, I already did it. But thank you anyway, Stephen. Okay. It's cool, but discarding my entire hand to hope you don't have it is terrible. Get into F. Lu Chen, 627, commit after you block an attack, draw X cards. X equals a block modifier of your block. Ooh, spicy. Commit 1 foundation after you check a reversal when attempting to block an attack. Add the check reversal to your hand, playable while committed. You know what? That's decent. You can go into A with Alexander. Use a buddy block. Your super chance reserved for down. Oh yeah, I think you only get like 5 super chats. It's not like Twitch where you can just keep giving money. Yeah, I think you only get. I think you have a limited amount of super chats you can actually do. Yeah, I've also got super stickers. Xiao Diam. Commit before you make a control check. Before a player makes a control check, they discard 1 card. If their control check gets minus X, X equals the control of the card they discarded. Films and turn discard. What? Okay. Sure. That's it. So you force them to discard a card from their hand. The check gets reduced, and they have to do it. And then if you have momentum, you get to pop off a little bit more. You do need 3 momentum to ready it, which is a shame. But that early aggression, top of B. Rock Howard. Is this the... After your opponent plays a card, you may draw a card. At the end of your turn, if you have 5 more cards, discard your hand. Add momentum from your card pool to your... Add 1 momentum to your card pool face down. Your opponent adds 1 momentum to their card pool face... S. Just... S. That static is just fucking dumb. That static is insane. And I'm really glad... He's in retro now, so he has access to Lucky and Ready Gets It Go, and I hate it. But yeah, no. Ooh, something we probably need clarifying from UVS. Rock Howard was printed after MHA1. Is he Hero 2 legal? I'd say he's Hero 2 legal. That's a question for UVS though, not a question for me. But yeah, Rock Howard goes into S. Not even a question. This Rock Howard also had the secret text of you may play 6 copies of Silent Step. There we go. Yeah, you just get to do stupid things whenever your opponent plays a card you get to draw. S tier. I'm really glad he's not in standard. Neon. Discard X momentum, your attack gets X damage. Commit, destroy 1 foundation with a farm ability printed on it. Depends on the set number. No, because I don't know how that quite works with the experience bundles. Because because Hero 2 is just anything printed after MHA 1. So it's a bit of a weird one. Neon, discard X momentum, so basically give any attack powerful 1. And commit destroy 1 foundation with farm printed F. You're very dependent. That commit, you blank if you don't want any farm abilities. And powerful 1 on everything is okay, but there's probably better. May 7? Jeez. Oh, this is another big one, isn't it? Okay. May 7. E commit your attack gets plus X speed, X equals the number of cards in your opponent's hand. Commit X foundations. Your attack gets X damage. The top commit gave me hope. The bottom commit just dashed it. Get an F. Yuko. Form commit. Discard momentum. Discard all cards in your card pool. Only play if you have 5 more cards in your card pool. Enhance commit. Discard one card played as a block from your card pool. Reduces attack damage to 0. Only playable during your opponent's attack. Okay. Now, first form made me a little bit wary, but that second ability, fairly decent. Because, if you be able to block one, be able to do the other one, C, because I do like reducing stuff to 0. Tam 628 Air Chaos Live. Response commit. Discard 3 momentum before your opponent adds a card to their momentum. Discard your opponent's entire momentum. Gain X vitality. X equals the number of momentum discarded this way. I don't see how very often how that is going to work out as a net positive, especially as it's before they add a momentum. So you discard their entire momentum, then they still gain one. F. If it did other things, maybe, but that's just a bit too weak. Seth, commit one asset. This attack gets minus X damage within 1, or plus X speed. X equals the control of the committed asset. I mean, if you build it around the assets, so that's pretty cool. The control of the assets. You're talking a good 5. You're talking a good 4, 5 on everything. If you can get the assets out, and Earth has some very good assets to utilize. Yeah, no. Solid C. Noise at my throat. Almost like I've been talking for 4 hours. Sakuro, 628 Chaos Death Fire. After your attack deals damage to your opponent, place 1 Daze token on your opponent's character. Commit. This attack gets plus X damage or minus X damage to a minimum 1. X equals the number of Daze tokens on your character. Okay. So essentially, you only get to do it once, though. You're way more lenient than this. I think like the first 107 have. I think the first 107 are kind of like geared me into it. Once you get like 150 in, you kind of find the way in. However, I don't like this. Get into F. Reaver, commit one foundation asset before you make your control check. Your control check gets plus X. X equals the block modifier of the committed card. Commit, discard 1 momentum. Your attack gets plus X speed. X equals discard momentum's difficulty. I mean, just being able to check hack with the block modifier of an attack repeatedly is insane. Commit one foundation art asset. Give your control check plus 3. My throat is already going. 1 foundation for plus 3. Yeah, get in there. Go A because you're not really killing. Leanne, discard momentum if this attack deals damage. Reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is an attack, you may play it as your next form. Discard momentum if this attack deals damage. Reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is an attack, You may play it as though you fall for your hand. Okay, so you're increasing your hand size if you have an attack on top. So if you can stack the attacks, if you can stack the top of your deck, that's cool. Really? I think she's pretty cool. I was torn between A and B. I'll move it on to B if you want, but I think just being able to pay one foundation to essentially be 2, 3, 4 foundations is really cool. It's a bit too RNG based for me, but be able to increase your hand size. You can't play in your opponent's turn, but it's very Mina-esque, but I'll put you down in D. Kyo. Commit before a control check is made. That check gets plus X. X equals your maximum vitality minus your current vitality. So the more damage you take, the more you get for your check. Yeah, commit before you make a control check. X equals your maximum vitality minus your current vitality. So if you've lost 3 health, you get 3 to your check. Discount momentum, gain X vitality. X equals the number of cards in your card pool that you have played this turn. Okay. Fun little check hacking. Nowhere near as powerful as Riri. Discount momentum to gain health based on the cards you've played. However, pretty good. C tier. Jubei. Before you add an attack with 5 difficulty or more to your momentum during the end phase, add it to your hand instead. Commit. Discard one attack with printed 5 difficulty. Your attack gets plus 5 damage. Okay. So the first ability plays the second ability during your next turn. Also give you an additional card to block with. But as a 627, that's fairly boring and still quite blockable. So D tier. 5 damage is nothing to be sniffed at, but D. Basara. Discard momentum after your opponent plays responsibility. Cancel it. That's cool. Commit. Your opponent reveals their hand. Choose one non-attack card in their hand. That card may not be placed in. So it's spiritual glass and it's incredible display on a card. I mean, be able to stop responsibilities on face puts it at least an A. That seems cracked to me. One momentum to Scott, your response did nothing, and it's a lot harder to stop that. Oh, very cool. Vega. 626 Air All Chaos Commit. When your opponent would gain vitality, you gain the vitality from that instead. Discard momentum. Whenever your opponent would gain vitality due to that kind of effect, add a number of cards from the top of your deck to your momentum equal to the amount of vitality they would have gained instead. So you're essentially just shutting down your opponent's heal cycle. Because you discard 1 momentum to gain that much momentum. That's really solid. And then if they want to keep trying to heal, you commit and you heal instead. So basically your opponent's heal effects don't work as long as your character's ready. I like that. It is dependent on, of course, of your opponent playing heal effects, which not all of them do. So this can go into C tier. Being able to shut down an entire player's game plan seems cool. But if you come across someone who's just not running that game plan, or you come across a Scorpion, they just get to laugh in your face. Relento. Evil, fire, good. Commit. This attack is plus 2 damage. If the attack deals damage during your opponent's next draw step, you may draw up to your character's hand size as though it was your turn. So you're banking on this attack hitting. If this attack doesn't hit, then you just don't get to take part. I'm not a fan of that. Into F you go. You will. It's such a dependent draw, and if your opponent has any way to negate the damage, stop the damage, you just a blank character. Q. Evil, good, honor. Form commit. If your hand size is 10 or less, both characters' hand size are permanently increased by 1, and both players destroy 1 card in their staging area. Okay. That's weird. One, it doesn't say no non-character, which is interesting. And 2, that just seems really bad. Because both players get to increase their hand size. So my opponent gets to draw more cards for free, which just feels bad. You know, and both players discard a card, destroy a card, so you're destroying your own stuff as well, which you can build around. But I don't want to give my opponent free value. Oh, so many cards. M. Bison. Why is the 4.1 so big? M. Bison. 628. Response commit. After your opponent plays an ability on a card in the staging area, negate that ability effects. This tag is +4 damage, only playable during the enhanced step. I mean, you can do it during your post turn. That's a costly commit. No, F. Yeah, you're going to increase your damage, but you can also increase your opponent's damage. And that could be really awkward. And once you commit, there could be worse things to come. Can commit this attack gets minus X damage, X equals half. This attack's damage rounded down. Interesting. I don't like how many of these characters like you do one thing or you do another thing. You don't get to do both. Form commit. Your opponent gains X vitality and commits X foundations. X cannot be more than your opponent's maximum vitality. Minus their current. X cannot be more than your opponent's maximum vitality minus. You see, you can't heal them more than full. I don't know how to feel about that form. Healing my opponent 4 to commit 4 foundations seems decent. But at the same time, it could be really rough. I like it. It can go D, but I could see an argument of just slamming that into F. Oh, how terrible, you have to make meaningful. I like pushing buttons. Like, I'm here to push buttons and play the game. I'm not here to make. I have foundations and attacks for meaningful decisions. Guile. 624. Commit 2 foundations. If this attack deals damage, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is an attack, add it to your hand and discard the attack from your card pool. But what if it's not your attack? Commit 2 foundations. If this attack deals damage, reveal the top. So, can I use this on my opponent's turn or not? I imagine I can. So I'm committing 2 foundations to let an attack hit me and hopefully drawing an attack. Not a fan of that either. Not a fan of that either. Gil. 8 hand size 26. 8 hand size 20. Deaf, good, order. Commit. Your hand size is permanently reduced by 1. Your maximum vitality is increased by 3. And you gain 3 vitality. Oh, man. Look, this is just... who would do that? What kind of person wants to be a 7 hand size 23 or a 6 hand size 26 or a 5 hand size 25? No, this seems cracked. You get a strong early build. You get to pop up. You get a very strong early build. And then as the game goes on, you get to go, cool, I'll reduce my hand size now I'm established. And I will increase my maximum vitality so I can heal up. And I will increase my total vitality. And I will also gain some health. S tier. Discardable Foundation. This attack gets minus X damage. X equals the difficulty of the Discardable Foundation. Commit. If this attack deals damage, add 1 Foundation if you discard power to your hand. Okay. Well, that's not playable while committed, so you don't get to use both. Oh, true, because you can just make your opponent a 0 hand size and just sit there going, so how's your day going? It's okay. I like the idea of discarding foundations, but yeah, you're not always going to have the foundations to discard. F tier. Geki, 719, Air, Chaos, Death. Commit, choose a number. Your opponent randomly reveals 1 card in their momentum. If the reveal card's control matches the chosen number, your opponent discards the entire... The hell? No! Why is your entire identity RNG? Get an F. What do you mean? I'm just gonna try and mind game you and get rid of your entire momentum, and that's all I do. Not a chance. Dalsin 4, 628. Commit, choose one foundation or asset in your hand that you could play normally. Add the chosen card to your staging area. Form, get an extra resource. Form, get a massive mute machine, I guess. D. I'm going to get shout out for doing more Dalsin dirty. Chun-Li. 626. Commit, after your opponent plays their 3rd foundation this turn, play 1 foundation from your hand. Following all restrictions and paying all costs, you may continue playing foundations this way until you fail a control. You may not commit foundations or play abilities that count as committed foundations to make checks successful. So they play their 3rd foundation, and you just go boom, 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 boom. So going second, you just get to go, yeah, play a 3rd foundation, see what happens. And then you go, cool, I'll play foundation, and I'll play another one, then I'll play another one, then I'll play another one, then I'll play, oh, I failed the check, cool. Is it my turn yet? Yeah, no, that seems absolutely solid. Early on, she's kind of blank late, so I'm going to put her in A. But just that aggressive early start is absolute nightmare. Kami, 718, enhance this tank. If it deals damage, add 1 card from your hand to your momentum. Only playable during your opponent's turn. Yeah, true. You maybe move Elena up to S. Many things are wrong with me. Many things are wrong with me. First one, commit until the end. Until the end of your next turn, all foundations get +2 difficulty. Ooh. I don't like that at all. The E isn't playable while committed, so you don't get to add cards to your hand to momentum. And the first form just says your build gets harder. And surely should not be that high. Fine, there you go. You happy? Blanca 4. Chaos, Death, Fire. Add the top 3 cards on your deck to your momentum. Your combat phase ends and you must proceed to the end phase. Discard momentum. If this attack deals damage, your next attack this turn gets +2 damage. Okay, so the idea is you set up your next turn. So if you're going second with this, you do your build, and then you add the top 3 cards of your deck to your momentum. And when it comes to the next turn, you spend momentum and you go, my next one. But it's so conditional. It's a lot of work for something other cards get to do for much cheaper. You're assuming I remember what I put the other things in. There's going to be repeats of characters. Platinum is still in this tier list. And I'm going to be very inconsistent with how I remember what cards do. And as time goes on and as I get more, as my ADHD gets more done with this, I am going to be a lot more snappy in my decisions, and I'm probably going to be very inconsistent in my decisions. You knew what you were signing up for when I did this. I am very inconsistent, as is General. We have a character called Sean in the game. Okay, Sean, 627. E commit. If this attack deals damage, reveal top card of your deck, gain X vitality. X equals difficulty of the revealed card. If you gain 4 more health due to this ability, draw a card. E, discard X card. Okay. We like a mulligan. The mulligan does build up. I'm not a fan of the fact that you have to commit to do this health gain. I think that's an absolute waste, but for the ability to mulligan, you go to D easy. Being able to do a mid-turn mulligan, absolutely solid. 628 Karine. Remove one attack from your discard pile from the game. Your attack gets plus X speed. X equals the speed of the removed attack. Okay, luckily it's not a commit for once. Commit. There you go. Before you make a control check, the check gets plus X. X equals the number of attacks and you remove from game pile. Okay. I like this. I like this. The E builds into the response. You're removing attacks for speed, making them harder to deal with, and your check gets higher. No, I like this. B. Guy. 720 Chaos Fire Honor. Discard 1 card, your attack gets plus X speed. X equals the number of cards in your opponent's hand. Not a fan of that. Discard 1 card, your opponent discards 2 of their momentum. You may add 1 card from your hand to your. So I have to go down 2 cards to get rid of my opponent's 2 momentum. The fuck? Discard 1 card, your opponent discards 2 of their momentum, and I may add 1 card from my hand to momentum. Yeah, but I discard a card and add a card to my momentum. So I'm going down 2 cards to do. I guess it's not once per turn, so I can just make my opponent spend all their momentum, pitch my hand, and find some draw. I don't see it. I really don't. I'd have to see like support for what he's doing, but for that alone, I'm going to put him in F. It just the costs don't outweigh the benefits to me. He's just a cool guy. He is just a cool guy. Cammy 7 dot. Commit review your hand. Name a card type. Your attack gets plus X speed. X equals the amount of cards of the name type in your hand. Discard one when some of your attack gets plus 6 damage. X equals the block modifier of the discarded card. So, plus 0 to plus 3 damage for momentum. Pretty cool. Giving my opponent every single card in my hand. Giving my opponent access to all of that information. And going, yes, but I get plus 2, 3, 4 speed. I have attack. I'm going to name attack. I have 4 more attacks in my hand. My opponent now knows what I have in hand, what all those attacks do, what their zones are, and what they need to block. No, not a chance am I giving my opponent all of that free information for plus 3 or 4 speed. Not a goddamn chance. Get an F. Cammy, you're in a disgrace. Alex, 628, all fire life. We've got some symbols here. Commit, gain either X vitality or draw X cards, your choice. X equals your opponent's character's printed hand size minus 3. So if they're a 5-hander, you draw 2. If they're a 7-hander, you draw 5. Interesting. I have been live 4 hours in 9 minutes, and I've got so much more to go. Discard one life card. Your all or fire cards get plus 1 speed, plus 1 damage. You also couldn't look at winter back then. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Scavenger. Exactly. You couldn't look at winter back then, which made it a lot harder. The form commit is really cool because you're drawing between 2 and 5 cards. However, if you come across that 3-hander, you don't get to draw anything. Discard 1 life card. I'm not a big fan of the discard, but being able to draw a lot of cards uninteractable on face at least gets you into D. Tyrant, discard 1 card. Your attack gets plus X speed. X equals the bottom line for the discarded card. Commit your attack gets plus X damage. X equals your number of your opponent's ready foundations. I wasn't on board with the enhance, however, true 100% on the face that you can put on throws. Interesting. It does only count ready, so if your opponent overextends and if they see what that you're playing Tira, they probably will want to get as many committed as they can. Oh, it's Nick. I just looked at your profile picture. Yeah, Nick, you couldn't look back at your momentum then. Damage output alone warrants that she at least goes into C. She has speed on face. She can then commit to give the damage. That's a bit. That does create a bit of a threatening situation. Night Terror. Chaos, Evil, Death. Destroy 1 card in your staging area. Destroy a committed non-character card in your opponent's staging area of the same type as the destroy card for this ability. So why not just say destroy 1 non-character card in your staging area? Commit. After your opponent plays an If your opponent plays an ability on their character, cancel its effects. Ooh! Okay. The first E didn't get me. The response, however, being able to cancel your opponent's character abilities on face seems strong. And then being able to choice commit. Being able to choice destroy one of their committed things after you destroy one of yours. It's fair. For the ability to cancel counter abilities, it only goes to B. Victor, at the start of Victor 532, Death Order Void. At the start of each combat phase, the player whose turn it is commits X foundations. X equals the number of bolt tokens on this character. E commits either place one bolt token on this character or remove one bolt token from this character. So you commit and then you force your opponent to commit one foundation. So okay. It does affect yourself as well, so you're going to get into a situation where you just both commit each other's boards out. But as a 532, you kind of just want to keep applying pressure to your opponent, slowing the game down. No, I can see how this would be interesting. It's a fun little D experiment for sure. Probably could chuck it into F, but if you could just essentially, if you can punish a bad start really easily. Sasquatch Darkstalkers 532. Once per game, your attack gets plus X damage. X equals your vitality minus your opponent's vitality. Minimum to 0. Playable or committed. Only playable if you have 5 or more foundations in your staging area. Your attack X equals your vitality minus your opponent's vitality. Ah, my head. So if I'm at 30, my opponent's at 25, the attack gets 5 damage. If I'm at 30, my opponent's at 1, it gets 29 damage. If I'm losing, this does nothing. Discard one card. This attack gets minus X damage, minimum 1. X equals your character's hand size minus your character's hand size. So you're talking a minimum of 0. So you're talking at least a minimum of 1 minus damage. But you could just always be doing -1, which you're discarding a card to do. I think just the mental load of this character puts it into F. Ryuku. You joined madness there, Reese. Ryuku. Evil, fire, water. After your opponent makes one of their attacks unblockable, place one unblockable token on your character. Remove X unblockable tokens from your character. Your reversal attack becomes unblockable. X equals your. So you have to. That's an easy F because you have to rely on your opponent making stuff unblockable, or else you don't get to do anything. I guess in the set there might have been a lot of unblockable, but in the wider game it's not as like out there. Queen Bee 719. Commit, place one soul token on this card. After any player cycles their deck, add X cards from the top of their deck to their momentum. X equals the soul tokens on this character. Was cycling a lot more common back in retro Legacy days? the majority of time you've got to commit to add the soul token, so you're only getting one per turn. It's a fun little mill strategy, but majority of the time your character's just kind of blank. So off to F you go. Pyron. Discard one card after your death or fire attack deals damage. Look at the X cards of your opponent's deck. You may remove one of these cards from the game. X equals the damage your attack dealt as a 627. And sure. You're removing cards from the top of your opponent's deck. You're getting to see. Well, it's going to get shuffled afterwards, so you're not even like seeing what their next checks are going to be. No, that's just a bad card. Off you go. Morrigan. 626. Discard one card, remove one card from your opponent's discard pile from the game. This attack gets -X damage. X equals the removed card's difficulty. That's kind of decent. Removing attacks from your opponent's discard. Being able to go -4, -5, -6 damage on everything, as long as you can discard cards. But you are having to go down in your hand size to do it, which is a hell of a cost. And if you don't do it, if you do it, you kind of showcasing to your opponent that you can block them. But Nathan isn't here, Mike, so it's fine. Let me some MVC. You need to be able to draw enough cards to be able to do it. Good and Deaf can draw a ridiculous amount of cards. You're not really doing anything to your attacks. Yeah, see. That was his first competitive deck. You can tell him. What's he going to do? Before your opponent's review step, add up to X cards in your opponent's discard pile to your opponent. Before your opponent's review step, add up to X cards in your opponent's discard to your opponent's hand. X equals your character's hand size -4. So if they're a 7-hander, you give them 3 cards. If they're a 5-hander, you give them 1 card. If they're a 6-hander, you give them 2 cards. Reveal the top card of your... So you essentially just go, here's a bunch of foundations that don't do anything. Have fun with that. Reveal the top card of your deck. You may either add the reveal card to your momentum or discard it. Only playable during your opponent's attack. So you can get momentum or you can discard it, but you don't get to keep it. I think I re-added Barrier Shield. Ooh. Barrier Shield's pretty good. Real top card, yeah. So you can gain a bunch of momentum, which is always cool. Discard a bad check, but you don't get to secure your next check. However, you can keep stuff in your opponent's hand. And for that alone, I think it has to go to A. If my opponent is a 7-hander and I get to chuck a bunch of cards into their hand that don't do anything, I'm happy with that. If my opponent's a 5-hander and I get to go, well, you're going, do you want to review this or do you want to review another card in your hand? Being able to just pollute my opponent's hand and get some knowledge of as to what they're going to have, I'm sorry with that. I don't think you would ever give your opponent Barrier Shield unless because you're setting yourself up for breaker there. But adding things in like Dauntless Defense that they're basically, oh cool, you've got a card you can block with, but you're going to have to wait till your next turn. You have a dead card in hand. Giving them basically just funny, goofy. Yeah, no, it's a fun way to do it. I'm just thinking of foundations that they don't want to play, attacks that you know you can block, just things that you just don't want to have to deal with. Things that you know you can deal with. Lilith. Oop. Lilith, commit one foundation, commit one of your opponent's non-character cards in the staging area. Your opponent discards X cards from the top of that. X equals the difficulty of the committed card. Only playable during your attack. Okay. You get to choose what your opponent commits. So you're not going to be committing zeros. You're always going to be milling them. That seems decent. It's every time you play an attack, and apparently mill was an actual strategy. C tier. As much as Mike's going to shout at me for being inconsistent with my mill hate. At the beginning of your combat phase, remove all moon tokens from this character. Why are there so many tokens in this game? If you did not remove any moon tokens, add one moon token to this character. While this character has at least one moon token on it, this character's hand size is 9. Discard 1 momentum. If your attack deals damage, your attack discard momentum. If your attack deals damage, your attack get +3 speed. Only playable when this character has a moon token. So you spend one turn as a. You spend one turn. Essentially, you're alternating between being a 6-hander and a 9-hander. Because you start off the first turn, drop your hand, go to combat phase, get the moon token, go to 9. Second turn, you drop to 9, remove the moon token. So okay. You're kind of transforming every turn, which is kind of cool. Start off your first attack turn as a 9-hander seems really decent. Just for that alone, yeah, no. Your attacks this turn get +3 if your attack deals damage. You gotta put it in S. J Talman, that's 9-hander that gets to just pop off. Sure. It's almost like night and day mode. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Janaya, 5 hand size 31 health. Commit 1 foundation. If your attack deals damage during the end phase, add your attack to your staging area as a foundation. I imagine that means face down. This tag is considered a foundation. This tag is considered a foundation while in your staging area. X equals your foundation's printed damage. So it has to deal the printed damage exactly. Because it doesn't say X damage or more. It says if your attack deals X damage. So it has to deal its printed damage. Not more, not less. That's a bit weird. I mean, being able to build everything down at the end phase seems pretty cool. But going down a resource to have to hit such a specific number, to me, puts it in F tier. Hutzel, remove top card of your deck from the game. This attack gets -6 damage with a 1. X equals that attack's control. Okay, but how do you tell? It's going from a private zone, so I guess it would go to remove to face up. You see, talking between 1 and 6 for max damage. That's pretty powerful. Desperation first farm. Add 1 card from your Add one card from your momentum to your card pool face down. Destroy one of your opponent's foundations. Okay. Okay. Pop off. So once you get below 20 health, you just get to blow shit up. That seems pretty good. Removes face up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And you can reduce how much damage you're taking just by doing E. You don't get access to the back. Sure, I'm going to A tier, why not? Damage reduction on everything, and then also blowing things up once you get below half. Seems pretty powerful. Senko. 718. When you clear a card from your card pool, add all the face-up attacks in your card pool to your momentum. They may not be discarded. First form, discard 2 momentum, add 3 cards from the top of your deck to your card pool face down. Each player returns their vitality to... What? Each player returns their vitality to its maximum amount. I don't know the erratas. I'm going off what they're printed. If I know the erratas... If I know the erratas, then I'll go off the erratas, like with Kirishima and stuff like that. But for the majority of stuff, I am just going as written on card. I'm sure the people of chat will have a go at me if stuff can tell me if stuff has been errated, so I can fix the tier list. But this looks insane. Whenever you clear your card pool, add all face-up attacks in your card pool to your momentum. They may not be discarded. First form, discard 2 momentum, add 3 cards from top card of your deck to your card pool face down. Each player returns to their max. What? How are games meant to end? If I'm playing against someone who has 36 health, how is the game supposed to end? If I'm adding all my attacks to my momentum and then healing up to full at the beginning of my next turn. What? I don't get it. Oh, it feels power mill out. Okay. Why is mill becoming a legacy strategy to win? I can't put... I said it before, I can't put anyone who can heal up to full below a B. This consistent ability to heal to full, very powerful. And I am almost at water. Felicia. 625. Discard momentum. Your attack gets +6 speed. X equals your opponent's momentum. Commit one foundation. Your attack gets +6 damage. X equals the block modifier of the committed foundation. Okay. So, because the game like mobile strats in there. Okay, that's fair. We just seem to be punching each other in the face now. Mill isn't really as big of a threat. Discard one momentum to get plus speed based on how much your opponents hit you. Pretty cool. Commit one foundation to get damage equal to the block modifier. Just pumping one attack. Not a fan of that. Sorry, Felicia, you're going to F. Felicia 2! Air, good, void. After you play a card, discard one control X card from your card pool. X equals the played card's control rating -1. After you play a card, discard one control X card. X equals the played control. So Ah! So if I play a free control attack, I can discard a 1 control? If I play a 4 control foundation, I can discard a 3 control attack. Okay, I think I'm getting this. But fuck me, that's good. Oh. That's kind of cool if you can set up multiple different levels of control. But, oh, that hurts my head. Oh. Enhance your attack played as a reversal gets plus X damage. X equals a block modifier of the block you used to block the attack you reversal. Only playable if you completely block the attack. Okay. So if I use, maybe not on symbols, but if I use Skull Barrier, I gain nothing because this is 0. So the higher the block mod I use, the more damage I get on my reversal, but the more resources I have to use to block. I see. But also if I can block with an attack, then play an attack with a higher control, I can remove it. I can essentially remove that one. So if I okay, it's weird, and I don't think I fully understand what this character's power level is. So I'm probably not the best to judge her, but she seems terrible. F for hurting my head. Bishop on. Playing more than one attack wasn't a strategy for the first 3 years of the game. Ouch. Bishop on 532. Before you make a control check to play a card, make the check of that. Make that check from the top of your opponent's deck instead. Okay. Commit if your attack deals damage, your opponent discards X cards from the top of the deck. X equals damage. So it's a mill. This is the epitome of mill. I don't check using my deck. I check using yours, and if I deal damage, you mill that much. Okay, no, I like it, especially seeing as you can use this for block. You basically you just don't use your deck to check. You know, hey, our check deck. I've just realized I don't know how I'm going to do a giveaway because I don't think I've added anyone here. Bishop did deal damage. He just used your deck to check. Discard 1 block while you are when you are taking damage from an opponent's attack. Reduce that attack by X when 1 X equals the discarded card's block modifier. Commit 1 foundation. Add 1 card from your staging area to your hand. You must either attempt to play an attack or pass as your next form this turn. Okay. Interesting. 624, which you can commit to make away 724. You can utilize the same flip foundations, and once you've blocked, you can essentially reduce the difficulty to block in future, and reduce the amount of damage. Solid. I'm gonna go with solid C. See if I can set this up while I'm doing this. Anacharias. Sure. 533. This character's hand size gets +1 for each mummy token on this character, and Response discard 1 block. When you are taking damage, reduce that damage by X, minimum 1. X equals the discarded block modifier. If this attack deals exactly 1 damage, add 1 mummy counter to this character. The hell? How are you supposed to control? That's so much work to get to exactly 1. Not a chance. Get out of here. Get absolutely out of here. Anarchis. Jackie Tank. 628 Canadian champion. Discard momentum before you make a control check. That check gets plus X. X equals the control of the momentum you discarded for this ability. Commit 1 foundation or discard 1 card. Your attack gets plus 2 speed or plus 2 damage your turn. Yeah, okay. Okay. So you discard momentum and you can give plus 2 a check based on the control of the discard momentum, and you can commit 1 foundation or discard a card to get plus 2 speed or plus 2 damage. Not insane, but compared to some of the other cards we've seen, not the worst. Solid D. Canada had an event last year. What do you mean? Scott Menace, 718. Tiny text. UK 2007. Oh my god, we've only gone 1 year in 4.5 hours. Commit after control check is made. That check gets minus X. X equals the number of cards in your opponent's card pool. If this card fails to be played, remove that card from the game. Failure check does not end the combat phase. Discard 1 card. Your opponent reveals the top card of their deck. If the control of the reveal card is greater than the control of the discarded card, the reveal card is added to your opponent's card pool face down. If not, add your discarded card to your momentum. Okay, so you're basically going, I'm going to play a foundation, and I'm going to discard this attack. You're going to reveal top card of your deck. If it's a foundation, it goes to your card pool. If it's an attack, you get to keep it, and I get to kind of just sit there and I get to get this in momentum. Seems solid. And then you also get some check hacking with minus X equal to the number of cards in your opponent's card pool. The card gets removed, so you're punishing your opponent for kind of doing strings. It's fair. It's bugged the hell out of my head. I think I need to get some water. Solid D. Last one. United States World's Team. Back when you... James Hatter, 630. Response: commit 2 foundations. After you play an attack, commit a foundation or asset in your opponent's staging area. Your attack gets plus X speed. X equals the difficulty of the committed card. Okay. Your attack gets plus X damage. X equal discard a card played as a block in the card pool. Your attack gets plus X damage. X equals the block modifier of the discarded card. Only playable during your attack. So you can punish your opponent. You can do some fun things with reversal. Committing 2 foundations to get, I guess you get a lot of speed that way. US singles and world's team champ for that year. Oh wow, they did both. I don't like the idea of committing 2 foundations, but you get a lot of speed from that. And this is back when you're only kind of doing 1 at a time. That's kind of fair. But I'll be able to see. Okay. So that's the end of that one there. This is not a break, Mike, so you can't shout at me, but I am out of water, so I need to go get some water.